What's up, everybody? We are officially back. This is Insecure, season 5, the final season. This is episode 1 of the final season, Low Key Reunited. And we pick up off of last season, jumping right into the new season. We see Issa coming back from the airport from San Francisco. So it's obvious that she and Lawrence are still trying to make it work and all of that good stuff. And everybody probably doesn't agree with that decision, but she went on ahead and did it for love because at the end of the day, this seemed to be the right thing, seeing how good they were doing last season. But canola oil, aka Condola, ended up pregnant and derailed that. But she still tried to make it work anyway. So then we end up seeing Derek, Tiffany, and Kelly in the car. So they're all on the way to Stanford, which is the school they all met at, and it is their 10-year reunion since they graduated. So as they all are on the way there, Derek, Tiffany, and Kelly are in the car talking about Molly. They see her on Instagram and, saying how her posts are a little bit, just a little bit of a struggle since she and Andrew broke up. If you remember last season, Molly wasn't really, I don't want to say toxic because it's such a common word, but she was a little bit toxic in her relationships and she wasn't going to therapy as much as she should have and could have. Her relationship with her father, she was kind of giving him the cold shoulder. She was giving Issa the cold shoulder about everything. And then she was mad at Andrew about everything. And then she caused friction between he and his brother, who definitely deserved the reaction that he got from Molly. But, so it just was a little bit all over the place. So he decided to create his distance and, here we are now. So this weekend, Tiffany goes, I don't want to talk about nobody's mess. I don't want to talk about Molly's mess. I don't want to talk about Issa's messier mess, referring to her situation with Lawrence and Condola being pregnant, him moving away to San Francisco for work, all of that good stuff. They arrive, finally, they get to, where they need to get to, and they see that it's still awkward between Issa and Molly. The hug is a little bit awkward, even though we did see that they ended up speaking last season a couple of times, and even after Issa was told the news by Lawrence about Condola being pregnant, Molly was the one that she went to because at the end of the day, ain't nobody gonna understand it the way that Molly will. Just this is what it is. And even as we go along further in the episode, you even see Molly pull Kelly aside like, yo, how long did it take you and Tiff to get through y'all's awkward phase to where y'all wasn't rocking like that? And Kelly lets her know, listen, it's not an easy thing. It's not overnight. We laugh at jokes that aren't even funny. We laugh at the cornier stuff, but, we faked it until we made it. And, we eventually got through. And then she pulled her aside again when Tiff made a corny joke and was like, it's a lifelong struggle. They look at the yearbook and they look at, where people are currently in life. And it shows that Kelly no longer has a life because they have her in memoriam. Completely inaccurate, but it actually scared me a little bit because I know Issa's a good writer, and I know this team has great writers, great producers, and all of that good stuff. And it made me nervous. Like, yo, what at the end of the episode, like, we see that Kelly is no longer with us, like, for real. Like, that would, I'm sorry, Kelly is, that's everything for me. Kelly, we don't have Kelly, we don't have a show. And I know that sounds horrible because there's still a show, but Kelly is just, we here with ours. So she sees that she's not alive in the yearbook, and Issa goes, "Oh, I guess that's why they asked me to say a few special things about you." It was the silliest thing in the world because I'm trying to figure out how in the hell did they find out, or how did they think they found out that Kelly wasn't alive? Anyway, they see the girl that they used to go to school with, a former classmate named Cheyenne, and then Tiff was like, she was always too wild for me. Shout out to the wardrobe in this episode because Tiff was decked out all in AKA colors, all her sorority colors. So they, not only were they about showing off, how black and excellent they were in school, but they were also showing off Tiff's Greek association and her Greek life, and her being an AKA, and her whole wardrobe. The episode was to support and show that. So shout out to the AKAs and the wardrobe and Insecure. So they see Cheyenne. Cheyenne says that she is she a dancer now, or she just wrapped a video with Saweetie, and I think they had a group together called Trap Habit. I think it was either Molly, Issa, Kelly, and Cheyenne, or just Molly, Issa, and Cheyenne. Either way, they were singing their old song. Cheyenne had to leave the group way back when because she went on tour to dance with Sierra and all of that good stuff. So they all reunite, get to hanging out again, and then they end up at this little event and a little bit of a dance situation. And there's a DJ, and then the DJ goes, "I'm gonna shout this out for Kelly." in love and memory or something like that. And Kelly is just shocked still, like, y'all really think I'm gone? And the stanky leg comes on because apparently that was her signature song. So they end up doing that dance, and Kelly's just doing it real nonchalantly, like, why not or whatever. It was hilarious. And what else happened in the episode? I think they end up at this panel thing of the most successful people that they've graduated with, and Issa ended up with a spot on the panel, as she should have, because her block party was very successful. She has this block situation. I think it's called BLOCC. I don't think she even knows all of them yet. But either way, she ends up on the panel. I think before or after the panel, she ends up having a conversation with her younger self. The younger self has twists, real little tiny shirt, braces and everything else, and all of that good stuff. And they end up having a conversation, and I think Issa's current self tells the younger self, create an app called Instagram or something like that. And the younger self was like, what's the app? Because you got to remember, Issa started school like what, probably 2007, and graduated 2011. And so Molly and Issa after the panel. So during the panel, they asked Issa this one question, which kind of ties into the end of the episode. They ask Issa, how did you finally know that you were on the right track? And then Issa answers, real serious, how do we know that we're on the right track? How do I know that this is the right thing for me? How do I know that this is even what I'm meant to be doing? How do I know that if tomorrow comes, I won't wake up and say this was all a waste of time? And it sounds like she's referring to her current situation in life, and definitely her current situation with Lawrence. So after that, her and Molly go eat, and they have a conversation on their way to go eat, and they talk about a bunch of different things. Molly's talking about how she's done dating and she wants to focus on herself yet again. She's not trying to focus on this one dude who's her ex-friends with benefits from school. And she's also not trying to focus on Andrew either. And the dude who she used to be friends with benefits with has been blowing her up like crazy. I want to see you. I want to talk to you. He wants to rekindle what they used to have as if, they're still the same age. But I also think that he was married, then got divorced. And I think maybe he wants something serious this time because he made a reference of what they used to be. And Molly was like, we weren't nothing but friends with benefits. So what do you really want to do again? Either way, so in the middle of the conversation of Issa and Molly eating, they end up having a conversation, and Issa was like, I'm in my 30s, starting a new career. I don't want to do this, that, and the third. I don't want to drive Lyft. I don't want to be told what to do. I don't feel like taking you to Palm Springs. Sometimes I want to do this. She was like, I'm still plunging toilets. I want to be able to do this, that, and the third. She's just talking about how she is in a certain spot where she wants to be. And where she is fine, but she wants more. She's in her 30s, starting a new career, and I think she is in a point where she doesn't have a lot of time to waste. She's realizing she's on the other side of 25, and I see things with a bigger view, and I want bigger, I want better. I don't want to just be doing this. Yeah, this festival was great, but what else can I do? Because at the end of the day, outside of the festival, I can't do that every single day. I'm still doing Lyft, I still property manage, so, and she's tired of it. While they're eating, they get an invite to go to something called Reggae Gold or whatever the case may be. And I could have sworn Reggae Gold used to be that little thing they used to sell. When they used to sell CDs on TV and they had the commercials you used to order, that was what that was called. Either way, on the way there, Cheyenne's with them, and it's Kelly, Tiffany, Issa, Molly, and Cheyenne. They stop at Cheyenne's idea saying, listen, remember how they used to serve watered down liquor? How about if we go in and get our own and sneak our own stuff in like we used to? Well, on the way into the liquor store, they get robbed. And he wants their bags. He wants their shoes. He's threatening to do away with them. You can't say but so much because YouTube has certain guidelines. So he's, threatening to pow, pow, pow. And, Issa and Molly get to crying and panicking. Cheyenne starts doing the most. And the dude who's robbing them says, Shy, you always doing the most. And then they all look around and then she stops crying and then steps to the other side with him. And then we now realize this is a setup. That took me by surprise. This was worse than when Issa met those girls at the little sip and paint and they went to dinner and stiffed her and left her with the check. This was way worse. I was like, are they really being robbed right now? And then they're really getting set up by the chick who went on tour with Sierra and just allegedly did something with Saweetie. Like, is this real? And she was like, everybody can get it. She was real unapologetic about it. She told Molly, come off with the shoes. She wanted the watch. Issa tried to give up her shoes. She didn't want Issa's shoes, which I thought was horrible. So this was one of the funniest parts of the episode. The episode didn't get too deep, which I don't want it to do already. I want us to take it on a slow ride because I'm having a hard time with the fact that this is the final season. I'm low key glad that it's the final season, pun intended. But you know, I'm also low key sad, high key sad, as a matter of fact. But I'm glad that it is the end because I don't want it to be a situation to where this drags along and we like 10 seasons in and we feel like we've seen the same episode 8 times. I still have yet to feel bored or redundant or feel like I've seen the same episode of Insecure yet. Issa keeps it fresh, and part of why this show will never ever die or ever get old is because of the music, the soundtrack. Solange, Raphael Sadiq, just shout out to them for scoring and putting together such great music, and Melina as well for, the shots that she does, and, just the music is what will keep this show will be relevant in 30 to 40 years because of the music, I promise you. And the selections and the way that they pan with the scenes. So after all of this, they laugh about going back to when they get back to the car, they're like, where are your shoes? Where's the liquor? They laugh about how the fact they just got robbed and set up by Cheyenne. And then it seems like Issa and Molly, this was what snapped them back into place because as they were eating before this, Molly asked Issa, are we going to be okay? And it was the question that I think we've all wanted to know and hear them ask each other like, yo, are we ever going to be okay again? So I think this is kind of going to help them snap back into place like, yo, we really be with each other through the craziest stuff, through the best and the worst. And, it was a fun moment. So then we see Derek, Tiffany, Kelly, Molly, all sitting down and eating. And this is the part that kind of scared me. I was like, yo, is Kelly really gone? Because they were sitting there doing like a memoriam. But I think to make Kelly feel better, because we saw Kelly last, they were all speaking and saying things about Kelly as if they were speaking about Kelly in the past tense. And I think they kind of gave her like, just I guess like an in memoriam thing while she was still here. I couldn't even get it out. It made me nervous. It scared the literal what out of me because I was like, yo, if they done took Kelly the first episode, cancel the rest of the season because I'm not watching. Like, we not doing this. And it ends with Issa seeing Lawrence. Y'all, shout out to the Lawrence Hive. It's Team Nathan over here. I'm sorry. I'm always going to be Team Nathan. I'm going to tell you I'm going to be Team Nathan real quick. Nathan helped Issa tap into her best self. They were joking around about an idea, and then she really went with it. And then when she was in a jam and this idea almost didn't come to life, it was him who connected that last dot for her to make it happen and be a success. So it's always going to be, I'm always Team Nathan. Mental health issues and all. Team Nathan. We all got a little something going on anyway. So whatever. Makes for a better person. So she sees Lawrence and she ends up, going to the airport, sees him, kisses him. They arrive back and you could tell it's a little bit awkward and she has something to tell him and she goes, I've been thinking and and then he just is like, yeah. And it kind of refers to what she was speaking about on the panel. What if this was all a waste of time? And I think that she feels that way about her and Lawrence. Like, yo, you got a whole baby on the way with canola oil. And where does that leave me? You got to have a whole kid to raise. You live there and you got a baby to raise. And I'm here trying to find myself. And once again, we kind of operating on your time or whatever the case may be. That's kind of where she ended up again, operating on Lawrence's time. And I think that's why she kind of ended it. So we'll see what happens. It may not be over. It probably isn't. No one knows too. But like I said, I'm still holding out hope for Nathan and Issa. And it ends with Kelly doing her podcast that she told us about in season 1 when Issa asked her and thought Lawrence was beating on Issa when they went to Malibu. And Issa goes, do you ever hear yourself speak? And she was like, yeah, all the time I have a podcast. So we finally seen her do it. It's called Prenny's Preguntas. And she was like, I know it's been a while, y'all, but I'm back. And that's how the episode ends. We see a couple of things, happening throughout the season in the next episode. But anyways, guys, what was your favorite part of this premiere? Are you sad to see Insecure go? I did hear something about there potentially being a one-off movie or maybe not. I never got to figure out if Issa said yes or no to it. I would love to see that. It doesn't have to be immediate. It could be next year. Entourage did it. Are you happy Insecure is back? Are you sad to see it go? What did you like about the premiere? What was your favorite part? I think my favorite part may have been, I I think honestly, seeing them just all reunite and get back on campus together, and them have a good time and then be loud and be extra when they finally got back, and they got back to their original selves and how they first met. I think that was my favorite part because it almost made me feel like I went to school with them. And what did I miss? Because I'm pretty sure it was something. I just thought off the dome and, with a couple of notes. Anyways, what was your favorite part? Like I said, are you ready for the rest of the season? What would you like to see happen in the rest of the season? Like, rate, comment, subscribe. It's completely free. And stay tuned because I'll be back next time with another review. Anyways, guys, this is Insecure, Season 5, Episode 1. This is the final season. Later.